Greetings, mighty companions. Anna Kujawa here, and we are doing a Course in Miracles, as we always do on Monday nights. And so we're going to start our session with an opening meditation. So we're going to do that for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll get into the section for today. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes and take a breath. Let go of your day. Let go of everything that's not happening right now. This is our precious, precious time to rest our minds, to allow our minds to rest from planning, from defending, from analyzing. This is the time to rest our minds and allow our minds to open to the spirit of love, spirit of healing that surrounds us always. It's just waiting for us. It's just waiting for us. Just breathe it in. Breathe in the moment. What does right now feel like? Breathing in this moment now, its power, its purity, and exhaling everything that's not happening right now. Let it go. Let it go. Let the past go. Let the future go. And breathe in what is here for you, waiting for you right now. Breathe it in. Place the future in the hands of God. Go ahead and place your future and your past in the hands of love. Let it go. That you might be available right now to all that love wants to give you right now. Breathe it in. Feel the infinite love that surrounds you and provides for you right now. Now. Not in the future and not in the past, but now and forever. Feel the safe embrace of the infinite, universal, unconditional love that surrounds you now and forever. Feel it. Open your heart and your mind to it. Let it see you. Let it hear your call for help. Let your call for help be heard and seen by the love, the unconditional love that embraces you, surrounds you now. sustained by this eternal, infinite love that embraces us now. Let it sustain you. Let it supply you. Let it heal you. Let it comfort you. Let it bind your wounds. Let yourself be loved now. Saying to yourself, I feel the love of God within me now. I feel it. I feel a love within me now that is changeless, eternal, unconditional. I feel it within me now. Feel for it. Open your heart and your mind to it. It is real. It is the only truth within you, without you. I feel the sustaining love of the universe within me now. Cared for. I am known. I am graciously supplied. I am free. And I remain exactly as infinite love created me. Yes to the truth. Align your mind to the truth about yourself, if only for a moment. Only the love about me is real. Only the love about me is the truth about me, and everything else is just my dream, my nightmare. It never was true, it's not true now, and it never will be. I am only love. I have only been love. And I will only ever be love. I am, and I remain as love created me. Breathe it in. Feel the truth about yourself. guiltless, innocent child of the universe. And I am entitled to miracles. And I am in need of nothing but this truth about myself right now. Say yes to the love you deserve. Say yes to the love that is surrounding you forever. Just say yes. Yes to love. To say yes to love is to say no to fear. See if you can feel love saying yes to you. Feel how the truth about yourself feels. This is how you know the truth about yourself. It feels good. It satisfies you in the depths of your being. You feel lighter. You feel innocent. You feel safe. And you feel loved and loving. That's how the truth feels when you've accepted it, when you've said yes to it. Deep breath, bringing your awareness back to the room, back to your body, yawning and stretching. Ah, beautiful. Good job, everybody. Good job healing yourself, letting yourself be healed. This is how we let ourselves be healed. This is how we let ourselves be healed by the truth. This is how we let ourselves be healed. We allow our nervous systems to relax. We relax our minds and our bodies with the truth about ourselves. The truth that you're loved, you're safe, you're supplied, you're innocent, you're guiltless, you're supported, you're free in your body. You are supported by love. You are loved. When we let ourselves hear the truth about ourselves, the truth about ourselves that we did not make up, That is healing. We heal by truth. We don't heal by anything physical. We don't heal by changing behavior. We don't heal by anything we take in from outside into our bodies. We heal by allowing ourselves to hear and accept the purely loving, unconditionally loving truth about ourselves that A Course in Miracles so brilliantly relates to us. That's what real healing is. All healing is of the mind, and then it trickles down to the body. And the reason our minds need healing is because our minds have accepted fear and guilt into them. We've accepted fear and guilt into our minds. We heard somewhere, you're not good enough. There's something wrong with you. You're defective. You're missing something. And we believed it. We said yes. We agreed. We accepted. So we took into our minds things that are not true. We took into our minds fear, guilt, shame, limitation, and then our minds became sick. Of Course in Miracles says all sickness is mental sickness. All sickness is mental illness. Right? And so real healing is letting yourself hear the loving, unconditional, guiltless, sinless, freeing truth about yourself. Isn't that beautiful? And that's a lot less expensive than going to the doctor. And it's a lot less expensive than going to Whole Foods like I used to do and spending $100 a week on supplements. You know, real healing is free. Awesome. Okay? Real healing is allowing yourself to hear the truth about yourself that replaces the fear in your mind, that replaces the shame in your mind, that replaces those limiting beliefs. I'm not enough, I don't have enough, I'll never be enough, I need to get something from outside of me to be okay. Those limiting beliefs, those are what make us afraid and ashamed and angry, and that's what makes the body sick. Those sick thoughts make the body sick. All right. So, welcome guys, and welcome you guys on Facebook. So, I thought we would do a random number generator, Miracle Roulette, again this evening. So, let's do that. I've got the random number generator out here. And who would like to touch the randomize button to pick which chapter? All right. Thank you, Dan.
Sure, I'll touch it.
Okay. Touch it, Dan. Dan touched it. Chapter 27. Okay, so now, would you, my dear, look in the table of contents, chapter 27, see how many sections are in 27.
Okay.
Okay, so, looks like we're gonna be on chapter 27. Hello to Bridget and Renew. Love to see you guys. Bridget says replace negativity and limiting beliefs with truth.
There are 8.
Awesome. 8, okay. Awesome, let's see here. All right, so, okay, who else? Who else? Okay. Oh, where do I touch it? Right there it says randomized. 7, so section 7. So we're chapter 27, section 7. Okay.
Sins witnesses.
Ooh,
Well,
what's
that's
it?
the annotate.
Oh, okay, let me see what it is in the blue book. Oh, the dreamer of the dream. Okay, so let's see here. So we said chapter 27, section 7, is that what it was? Okay. Chapter 27. The dreamer of the dream. Who could that be? The dreamer of the dream. All right. So here we go.
I think that'd be us.
Okay, thank you. What'd you say?
I think
That
that's
would be
huh?
us. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So guys, on Facebook, I've tried something new with the internet. So let me know if you see it getting blurry. So let me know and give me that feedback, you guys. Okay, beautiful. Lovely to see you all. Thank you guys for joining our healing circle. All right. so the dreamer of the dream. Okay, so A Course in Miracles says something very radical, but that is also a very ancient truth in many other spiritual systems, and that this is a dream. That what we're experiencing here is a dream, that we fell asleep and we're dreaming the dream that we're all separate bodies at war with each other, with not enough to go around, so we need to war and take from another. That's a dream. That's the dream that we're dreaming. And of course, A Miracle says at some point we will all wake up. We'll all wake up and go, oh, that was just a dream. Oh, that was just a nightmare. And of course, A Miracle says it's just like when you wake up in the morning, when you wake up with a fright and you've woken up from a nightmare, and you wake up and you're surprised that you've woken up. You're surprised when you wake up and relieved that what you just woke from was a dream. Okay? And of course, A Miracle says the same thing is going to be happening with us. We're going to wake up and go, oh, whew, all that death and disaster and disunity and pain and lack and death and fear, it was just a dream. And we'll wake up to the reality of there is no death, there is no separation, there is no lack, there is no loss. In other words, we'll wake up to reality. So that's something to look forward to. Got that going for us. Of course, A Miracle says, say this to yourself occasionally. This world endures only an instant. Only an instant does this world endure. And you could say the same thing about your problems. Only an instant does this problem endure. And then see how fast it disappears. All right. So here we go. So you guys, the dreamer of the dream, chapter 27, beautiful, section 7. It says, suffering is an emphasis upon all that the world has done to injure you. Wow. So what is suffering? Look what has happened to me. Look what the world has done to me. Look what my childhood has done to me. Look what the toxic environment I've been in has done to me. Look at all those people who broke my heart. Look what they did to me. Look at my parents who did not treat me right. Look what they did to me. Okay? Look at what happened to me from outside of myself in the past, and look what it has done to me. I am suffering. Okay? Then it says this, here is the world's demented version of salvation clearly shown. Like a dream of punishment in which the dreamer is unconscious of what brought on the attack against themselves, the dreamer sees themselves attacked unjustly and by something not himself. Okay? So how do you know that you're dreaming? Okay, how do you know you're dreaming? Well, this problem that you got going on, okay, whatever way you're suffering right now, does it appear to be happening to you? Does it seem to be happening to you? Are you saying to yourself, how did this happen to me? Where did this come from? Why is this happening to me? Okay, if that is how it looks and how it feels, that's how you know that you are dreaming. Okay? In a dream, in this dream, something outside of you is making you feel the way you feel. It's attacking you and it's injuring you. Something outside of you is attacking you and injuring you. That is how you know you're dreaming. Wow. Okay? And in a dream, you're unconscious of what brought on this attack against yourself. And when you're thinking to yourself, I didn't do this to myself. I didn't have anything to do with it. My thoughts didn't have anything to do with this. I don't know where this came from. I just woke up and my back hurt. That's how you know you're dreaming. That's what it means to be asleep. I perceive myself as a victim, and I don't understand why or how this attack on me happened. Okay? In other words, I don't see any connection between my thoughts, my feelings, and what seems to be happening to me. Just in the very perception that this is happening to me, It lets me know I'm asleep. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? So we could just say when we're suffering, oh, I'm asleep because I got all the signs and symptoms of being asleep and dreaming. I have all the signs and symptoms. I'm suffering, and I'm pretty sure that my thoughts did not have anything to do with it. And I'm looking for who to blame and who to try to get to change so that I can feel better. Okay? All right. Okay, so that is what a dream is. And that is the theme of this dream. Have you noticed? All right, any questions about that so far? Yes.
When you talk about attacking, are you saying that I think I'm being attacked?
Yes.
What
that's
if you
right.
really, I mean,
Yes.
well, okay, so here's the thing. If you really think you are, so let's
Yes.
say somebody says something to you
Yes.
that said, you are not okay.
Yeah, you
are
suck.
wrong.
You're awesome.
You
You're
hurt
awful.
me.
Right.
It is
Yeah.
your fault I'm like this. And you're hearing that from this other human being that's
Right.
coming at you.
Yep.
So you didn't think about it yourself.
Right,
You were
right,
just kind of like,
right,
uh-oh,
right.
where does that fit?
Okay, well, A Course in Miracles says that when someone appears to be attacking you from without, unless you are also attacking yourself within, then you wouldn't see it as an attack. So if you were not attacking yourself already, telling yourself the very thing they're telling you, then when they said those things to you, you would say, oh, poor dear, call for love.
Call for love. Yeah.
Call for, you must be having a bad day. Are you all
There must be
right?
pain, yeah.
Are you okay? Oh, poor dear.
So if you weren't attacking yourself, you could see it in the right way.
Correct. If you were not say so it goes like this. When somebody's coming at me and saying something about me to me, the truth is that that's what I think about myself, and that's why they're there, according to A Course in Miracles. Okay, and unless I am agreeing with them, or to the extent that that's what I believe about myself, I could not be injured by that. I wouldn't be injured by it. I only feel injured by somebody else's so-called attack if I agree with them, if I was already attacking myself in that way. So now when somebody says something mean to me or nasty about me or something like that, when I am in my right mind, then I go, oh yeah, boy, they just mirrored exactly what I was saying to myself yesterday. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I have been saying to myself, or at least that's what my ego was telling me, and I didn't say, no thank you. In other words, that person was saying to me exactly what my ego was saying to me, and I had been agreeing with my ego. How do I know? Because I didn't say no to it. When my ego said, you're an idiot, what's wrong with you? You suck, you're stupid. You know, I didn't go, call for love, that's not the truth. What's the truth about me, spirit, right? In other words, I agreed with my ego. And so then I forgot about that, and then someone walks up to me and says exactly the same thing. Well, you know, gee, the exact same thing, maybe a different form, but same content. So does that answer your question? All righty. Just check it out. When somebody is, quote, attacking you, take note. Just do a little experiment and go, have I ever heard that from my own ego about me? Or have I said that about somebody else, or thought that about somebody else? Or have I ever thought that about myself? Was I thinking that about myself this morning? And just watch the correlation. Watch the correlation. And soon enough, you'll see that it's 100% correlated. Only if you're in denial will you go, well, that came out of the blue. I've never thought that about myself. I've never said that about myself or someone else. Only if you were in total denial would you say that. But once you start looking and making the connection, going, when was it that I was thinking the same thing about myself or someone else? Then you'll go one for one, total correlation. Okay? So, of course, in Miracles is teaching us that the truth that we are not the victims of the world we see. And it's correlating completely the perception that you are a victim of the world and your suffering. And it's also correlating the acceptance that you're not a victim with your healing, your release from suffering. So a lot of times when I'm in my right mind, when I'm experiencing some kind of suffering, the first thing I've learned to say to myself, even if I don't believe it, is I have done this to myself. Oh, I did this to myself. I did this to myself. I did this to myself. The other day I took Chloe off the leash in a park, and the park ranger showed up, and he was so mean. And then of course Chloe jumped on him, of course. And then he gave me a $100 ticket. And I was like, you know, and I drove away, my adrenaline was pumping and my heart was beating. And even still, I said, look, I have done this unto myself. I have done this unto myself. I did that to myself. I knew that it was against the rules to let your dog off the leash in the Denver Park. I did this, even though my ego wanted to be like, oh, you believe me, he was so rude, blah, 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 there's nobody around, blah, blah, you know, excuse. And within a few minutes, within just a few minutes, I looked at my phone and somebody had put $100 in my PayPal account. And I was like, see, it was like a perfect demonstration. I am not the victim. I was not the victim of the park ranger giving me a ticket. I realized I wasn't a victim. I said, I'm not a victim. This is not happening to me. I'm responsible. And then what happened to the effect? That $100 immediately replaced. And it was so fast. I was like, right, yep, see, that's how it goes. That's how it works. You remember that you take responsibility for it. This is not happening to me. This is a reflection of what I am thinking about myself right now. I am not a victim of the world I see. And then what happens? The end of suffering. The correction of the suffering. I was suffering, thinking I'm a victim. I remembered the truth about myself. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I did this unto myself somehow. Correction of the symptom. Correction. Okay? Correction of the effect. Okay. So, and this is very hard to believe. Okay? Why? Because what is Earth? Earth is Victim Central. Welcome to Victim Central, where nothing at all is your fault, and you have every justification to be angry all the time, and your body will show the effects of that anger. Okay, that is Earth as what we have done to Earth. Okay, now the way to be free here on Earth and not to be always suffering at the effect of, well, I don't even know what's going to happen next, is to take responsibility for your experience and say, I am not the victim of the world I see. Somehow there's a connection between what's going on and my thoughts, even if I don't see it. But A Course in Miracles says all you got to do is do a little bit of practice trying to see the connection between your thoughts and what's happening, and it won't take long before you see the real deal connection, where you'll go, I guess I'm not a victim. I see the connection. I was full of hatred for someone else, or I was hating myself, and then the next thing I know, someone slammed into my car. You know, I was attacking so-and-so, I was judging them, I was gossiping, and the next thing I know, you know, someone's doing it to me. And I'm like, oh, you know, soon with a little bit of practice, you will see that it is true, that you really are responsible for your experience and you really are not victims, and you will also experience your true power. Now, Course in Miracles or however, and then boom, different world, a more loving world, a more friendly universe. The universe is friendly. It is friendly by nature. But when we are attacking ourselves and others, we are not going to perceive the friendliness of the universe. You're going to, if you are attacking the universe, you're going to perceive that it is attacking you. Okay? All right. So, what else? All right. It says, so we're on paragraph 1, and and let's do sentence. I guess that's 2. Like to a dream of punishment in which the dreamer is unconscious of what brought on the attack against himself, the dreamer, us, sees ourselves attacked unfairly and by something not ourself. We, the dreamer sees themselves the victim of this so-called something else, this thing outside of ourself for which we have no reason to be held responsible. We must be innocent, we say, because we don't know what we're doing. I'm innocent because we don't realize what we're doing. We don't realize our judgmental, critical, attacking thoughts. We don't know, the dreamer doesn't know what's being, the dreamer doesn't know what they're doing. The dreamer only knows what's happening to them. So a dreamer is someone who's unconscious. Someone who's unconscious. Someone who's unconscious only knows what's happening to them. They don't know what they are doing. Someone who's unconscious only is aware of what's happening to them, but they're not aware of their own negative thoughts. They're not aware of their own unloving thoughts. All they're aware of is, look what they're doing to me. Look what's happening to me. I can't believe it. This world is so mean and so unsafe, and people are so rude. Someone who's unconscious, someone who's asleep, the dreamer, only knows what's happening to them. They don't know what they're doing themselves. Okay? All right. So a lot of times when I notice I'm suffering somehow, I'll just say, Spirit, I am asleep. Please wake me. Spirit, I am asleep. Please wake me. Because I know I must be sleeping if I am suffering and seeing my suffering as being caused from outside of me. All right. He says, yet is our own attack upon ourself apparent still. Why? Because it's us who's bearing the suffering. And we can't escape from our suffering because the source of our suffering is seen as outside of ourselves. Wow. So, in our suffering, whatever that is, he says, it's obvious to those who can see that I'm attacking myself. Now, it's obvious to those who can see that I'm attacking myself. It's not obvious to me that I'm attacking myself, but what gives it away is who's suffering. Who's suffering here? It's me. So whoever's the one who's suffering is the one who's attacking themselves. Suffering is proof that you are attacking yourself. How do you know? Because you're the one who's suffering. And it says, and until you see that the source of the suffering is your own thoughts, your own attack thoughts, your own unloving thoughts, until you see that your thoughts are the source, you can't escape the suffering. You can't escape the suffering while you see the source of your suffering as outside of your own mind. Wow. Now, is that hard to believe, everybody? Yes. Yes, it is. Because remember, this is victim central. In this world, anybody who believes this is called crazy. Okay? Anybody in this room ever been called crazy? By friends, family, anybody like that? Okay? Yes. In this world, those who recognize that they are responsible for their experience are called crazy. Okay, that's paragraph number 1. Any questions or comments? Questions or comments? Yes.
You know, I reading a book. This was before I started studying the courts, but it was real. It had statistics, and it had, you know, if you're an angry person, you're more likely to get. It was just stupid little stuff.
Right.
It was you're more likely to get a flat tire. What does my anger have to do with a flat tire?
Yeah.
You're more likely to be have your home broken into in the middle of the night.
Right, gotcha.
When you're asleep,
Right.
you're more likely to undergo vandalism. You're more
Right.
likely to get mud. I mean, it was just
Very
incredible. And they
interesting
had actual-
statistical analysis.
They had actual statistics.
Very interesting.
I mean, I could
Very
see the
interesting.
mugging as you're walking along kind of angry, and,
Right.
but, you know, when you're asleep, you know.
Right, yes.
But it's, you know, it really kind of woke me up. Like, oh my God, I've been fighting all of this stuff in my life.
Yes. So that's cool that you actually saw a statistical analysis
Right.
done between somebody's general emotional content and things that seem to happen to them
Right.
consistently.
Right.
Very interesting. I've seen it in my own experience. The people that I've been around that seemed like they were most angry, they also seemed like, you know, something was always happening to them. Right? And I've also seen it in my own experience where on those days when I'm really irritated and I'm frustrated, I stub my toe, you know, I'm forgetful, I forget stuff. It's like things just seem to happen one after another. You know, you trip over something breaks, you know. So I've seen that myself as well. I would imagine you guys have too. You're in a bad mood, and how does your day go when you start off in a bad mood? It just goes downhill. It just goes downhill. So there's your, you know, example of that. Your mood very often determines what your experience is, and your mood is being determined by your thoughts. And your thoughts, according to A Course in Miracles, are being determined by which guide you choose to listen to that day or that moment. Are you listening to the voice for fear, which says you should be afraid and angry all day long? Or are you listening to the voice for love that says, fear not, you're loved, you're supported, just ask what you need, we're here for you, you're innocent, it's just a call for love, forgiveness is the answer, right? Which voice are you listening to from moment to moment? And which voice you're listening to determines what kind of thoughts you're going to have. So that's what the Course in Miracles says your whole day is determined by. Which voice you're going to listen to as your guide for the day. Love or fear? Real simple. And according to what voice you listen to, that's the kind of world that you're going to experience that day. So if you're listening to the voice for fear, telling you you're alone, you're separate, you need to fight, you need to defend yourself, you're all alone, you're on your own, you got to take, got to compete, then guess what kind of world you're going to experience that day. Wow. All right. And how about you guys on Facebook? Any questions here? Awesome. Yes, we do this collectively as well. That's true, Bridget. That's absolutely true. Okay, so this is the most empowering thing. This is really reminding us of our true power. If we were to accept this, then we will experience more power. Power to create what you want. Power to create the kind of world, the kind of life you want, the kind of body you want, the kind of job you want, the kind of relationship you want, the kind of financial experience you want. This is what reminds you of your real power to create what you want to experience. Of course, the Miracle says if you're not responsible for the crap, then you don't have the power to choose something else. So it all comes back to I'm responsible for what responsible for this, even though I don't believe it, I can't see it, I don't accept it, but I'm going to say it. I'm responsible for what I'm experiencing. And that is what returns the power back into your hands. Because if you're like, okay, well, if I have the power to choose this bad day I had, well, then I guess I have the power to say, I would like to have the day that love wants to give to me. And then, whoa, you mean I could just say, I want the day that love wants for me, wants to give me, and then I have it? Whoa. Okay, that's our real true power. So, but it's true, they're saying that you can't accept power to accept the real world until you accept that you have the power to manifest the ego world, the painful suffering world. So that's just like, take your medicine, and then you can have the healing. What's the medicine? I am responsible for this, even though I don't see how. I've chosen the feelings I'm experiencing, and I decided upon the goal I wanted to achieve, and everything that seems to be happening to me right now, I asked for and received exactly as I asked, even though I don't see that, even though I don't believe that. Okay, that right there says, if you will say that truth, I am responsible for what I'm experiencing. He says, all you have to do is say that with sincerity, which is a willingness. You don't have to totally believe it. And it says that all effects of your wrong decision will be undone for you. Really? Whoa, for real? You mean those financial effects of those attack thoughts will be undone for me? All the effects of my unloving thoughts, my attack thoughts, my grievances, if I just say I'm responsible for this, then this will be undone for me? Is that for real? Is this magic? No, it's miracles. Okay? It's miracles. That's how miracles work. They seems like magic, but it's really miracles. You say, I am responsible for this. I chose these feelings. I chose whatever is occurring to me is what I want to happen to me. And I was mistaken, obviously. If this is what I wanted, then that was a mistake. I was mistaken. I thought that, to compete and to take and attack and hold a grievance and compare and judge, I thought that would give me power. I thought that would give me peace. I thought it would make me feel safe. That was a mistake. I was mistaken. That was a mistake. I asked for this, and my asking for this was a mistake. And that's all I have to say. To have all the effects undone for me. So now, after I do that, then the next thing I know is that financial issue, the attacks I was experiencing from without, the lacks, the pain, the suffering, all of it, poof. And I go, whoa, wow, that was a miracle. And indeed it was, and that's what miracles do. Miracles are a change of mind in what you want, what you're asking for. A miracle is you go, I want peace. I just remembered. And then, whoosh, then all the effects of desiring fear or attack, gone. I love that. That's what it means when this is a Course in Miracles. It seems like magic, but it's really miracles, okay? And miracles is where the effects of fear that you chose disappear, undone for you, like that. Awesome. That's why I love A Course in Miracles, okay? Okay, so how are we doing? Beautiful. Any questions? All right. Paragraph 2. Now you are being shown you can escape. You can escape. Okay, I can escape from this. I've got some physical pain going on. You're saying I can escape from my physical pain? I've got some emotional pain going on. You're saying I can escape from my emotional pain? I've got a global pain. I got some global pain going on, right? And you're saying that we can escape from this? Okay, how does that happen? Course in Miracles. Well, it goes like this. All that you need to do to escape from this is but to look upon the problem as it is. I can escape from this problem if I just look upon it as it is. Okay? And what does that mean, to look upon this problem as it is? It means look upon the problem not the way that you set it up. To look on the problem, your problem as it is, means to see it not the way you set it up, meaning not the way you're interpreting it. Now, my interpretation of this problem is that so-and-so did not call me back, and so that means that they don't like me anymore, and so that means that I blah, 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 okay? That's my interpretation of the problem, okay? My interpretation of the problem is that, oh, I had this hernia operation, and that's why I have pain here still. That's how I set up the problem. That's my interpretation of the problem. So if I want to escape from my problem, I have to look on it as it is and not how I've been interpreting my problem. Okay? So we want to ask ourselves, well, I have this problem, and how is it that I've been interpreting it? Let's do a little inventory here. Let's do a little inventory. How have I been interpreting it? Well, first of all, I've been saying it's not my fault. And then it's happening to me, and somebody's to blame. And if they were different, if they would change, I'd be happy. That's my interpretation of it. Okay? So we have to be honest with ourselves and go, okay, well, what is my honest interpretation of this problem? Okay? I say to my clients a lot, so tell me what it is that you know about this problem. And I have them tell me how they see their problem. Why? Because that is them telling me their interpretation of their problem. And so I know now, if I want to help them escape from their problem, then I have to offer them or remind them, ask them if they're willing to be wrong about their interpretation of their problem. So I hear you saying that what you know about this problem is it's because your partner and your parents and the world and your body and blah, blah, blah. Okay, did I get that right? Yes, you did, therapist. Okay, great. Are you willing to be wrong about that interpretation? Now, if they say to me, no, I'm not willing to be wrong about that interpretation, that's the way it is. Then I say, well, then this is going to take a while. This is going to take a while, and it's going to cost you a lot in more ways than one. So we can escape from the problem if we're willing to question our interpretation of it and not see it as we set it up. All right. So, good to know. Don't forget that it's talking about escape. You can escape. Okay? Wherever it says you can escape, ding ding, pay attention. This is your escape route from whatever you're suffering with. It says, how could there be another way to solve a problem that is very simple but has been obscured by heavy clouds of complication which were made to keep the problem unresolved? In other words, without the complication, without your interpretation of the problem, what's your interpretation? Very complex. The problem will emerge in all its primitive simplicity. Are you calling my problems primitive? You calling my problems simple, Course in Miracles? My problems aren't simple. My problems aren't primitive. My problems are complex. I've been working on this problem my whole life, telling me my problems are primitive. Course in Miracles says your problems are primitive. They're not as complex as you think, right? That seems insulting to our egos, doesn't it? You think about the problem you're experiencing right now. And to have somebody say, well, your problems are very simple and primitive, not complicated at all, you would be offended. Like, no, it's not primitive. But it says, without the clouds of complication, which means your interpretation, then you would see your problem would emerge as it is in all its primitive simplicity. It's fear. It's pretty primitive, and that's pretty simple. Or it's wrong. It's not true. That's pretty primitive, and that's pretty simple. What is the truth about my complex problem, Spirit? It's not true. Oh, but Master, I've traveled all across the world to find the answers to my problems, Master. I've climbed this mountain, and you're just telling me that my problem isn't true, and that's it, and I should go home? Yes, my child. It's not true. You made it up. It's just fear. Go home. Okay? Without our interpretation, it's just simple and it's primitive, meaning it's not true. Okay? Then it says, and then once you see your problem emerge in all its primitive simplicity, and you see your problem as it really is, then the problem, you will see that it is absurd. You'll go, that's crazy. Wait a minute. That's just fear and I chose it and I didn't have to? That's crazy. That's totally absurd. That means I'm crazy. Yes, my child. You have seen correctly. Your problem is absurd and you are crazy. Now go home and be happy. No, I got to get my money's worth. I just traveled to the Himalayas. I spent thousands of dollars and climbed this mountain for you to tell me about my problem, to solve my problem. Okay. When you see your problem correctly, you will see the truth about it. When you're seeing your problem correctly and you see the truth about it, you will see it is simple, it's primitive, and it's absurd. It's totally absurd. Wow. That's why the Course in Miracles says all problems end in laughter. All tears are wiped away in gentle laughter. When you see the truth about your problems, your tears will be replaced with gentle, happy laughter. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh. Right? That's how problems are replaced. That's how you escape from problems. That's what happens to your problems when they're met with the truth. That's what happens to your problems when you stop being invested in your interpretation of your problems. And our interpretation of our problems is always very complex. It's they did this, and that's because my parents did that, and because their parents did that, and then I went to school and I learned this, and then this happened, and then this happened. That's why this is the way it is. Our interpretation of our problems is very complex, very obscuring, so that you never really see what it really is. And of course, Miracle goes, it's fear, or it's just guilt, and it's not true. Oh my goodness, I have made so much out of nothing. I could have had peace. All right. So, isn't that good to hear about your problems? Is anybody upset to hear this about their problems? Anybody like, oh, my problem is real? Anybody upset about hearing about your problems in their primitive simplicity? Okay. This is your escape. This is our escape from our problems. Wow, I love it. Now, it says, no one has difficulty making up their mind to let a simple problem be resolved if that problem is seen as hurting them and that problem is also seen as very easily removed. Wow. Okay, so how does my problem get resolved? I make up my mind to let it be resolved. Interesting. The end of this problem will come with us going, I decide to let this problem be resolved. It's making up my mind to let this problem be resolved. Okay. So, That's the first thing we want to say to ourselves when we're really, really, really done suffering. I've had it with this problem. I've been suffering with this pain so long. I've been suffering with this pain so long. I've been suffering with this pain so long, right? And I'm done. I'm this, I decide to let this simple problem be resolved. Why? Because now I see that it's hurting me. And I also saw from A Course in Miracles that it can be easily, very easily removed. Wow. So, what is it saying? No one has difficulty making up their mind to let their problem be resolved if they see that the problem is hurting them and they see that it's very easily removed. So it goes like this. This is hurting me, and A Course in Miracles is showing me how this problem could be very easily removed. Okay? Well, then I want it removed. Okay? It's not removed because I don't see that it's very easily removed, and I also don't see that it's hurting me. I don't see that my decisions are hurting me. I see that the world's hurting me. They are hurting me, and that is hurting me. And if they were different, I'd be happy. They are hurting me. This is hurting me. I don't see that my own decisions are hurting me, right? Okay, but once I see it's my decision that's hurting me, and I see that it's very easily removed, well then, what's there? Where's the problem in making that choice? It's like that. Then I'm fine. I want it to be removed. I want it to be resolved. Okay, so that is the end of paragraph 2. So, questions or comments? Questions or comments? Bridget says, nope, cause I made it up. Hello, Irene. All right. Thoughts? Any thoughts?
It sounds like it's easily removed because you don't have to depend on someone else, which is always frustrating. When you
Yes.
have to depend on somebody else to do something, get something done, but this is all on us,
Yes.
going within to change our own mind.
Yeah. Oh, that's so. It's a wonderful way to end all that frustration while you're being dependent or waiting on someone else.
To change.
It's very frustrating. It's maddening to be waiting on somebody else to change. Right? Absolutely. And it doesn't work. So this is a way to heal yourself of that frustration.
Well, it's easily resolved when
Yes, it's easily
It's-
resolved.
something I need to do.
That's right. It's easily resolved when we realize that it's ourself. That it's our own decision that's hurting us. It's easily resolved. Exactly. If it's someone else, then you gotta wait, you gotta convince them it's their problem, you gotta convince them it's their fault, you gotta get them to agree it's their fault, then you gotta get them to agree to change, and then after you do all that, if you even got that done, then realize you're still not happy. I convinced that person that they were to blame, and I convinced that person if they would change, I'd be happy. And so they were like, okay, I'm wrong, I'm bad, okay, I'll try to change, okay, I'll go to therapy for you. And they tried to change.
And then somebody else will show up and show you what's in your thoughts.
And then somebody else shows up to show you what decisions you're making that are hurting you.
To be the light, to
Yes.
shine and
Yes.
show you what's hidden in the darkness.
Yes, exactly. That's what our relationships do. That's what people in our lives do. They show up to very graciously mirror to us exactly what we are thinking and feeling, the decisions that we're making that are hurting us, that we're making. And instead of saying, thank you so much, I wouldn't know how long I would have been in denial about that thought that was hurting me. Instead of thanking them, what do? We attack them. We project on them. We say, how dare you? And then we attack them. Okay?
So would you say the realm of our reality is really coming from us and not to us?
Yes, thank you. Our reality, or the realm of our experience is coming from us. My world is coming from me. My world is coming from me. this experience is coming from my decisions. Now, this experience isn't coming from me, my truth, my spirit, which is only love. This that I'm experiencing is coming from my decisions, my thoughts, my beliefs. And I'm not my decisions, I'm not my thoughts. So we don't want to say, this is coming from me. It's not. It's coming from your ego, and you are not your ego. So we don't want to identify with those thoughts. We don't want to identify with the suffering. We don't want to identify with it and go, well, that's coming from me. I must be crap. I must be guilty. What we want to do is go, that is coming from my decisions, my thoughts, my beliefs. This problem is not coming from my reality. It's coming from my thoughts, my decisions, my beliefs. And I just recognized that these decisions and thoughts are hurting me. And then, of course, the Miracles just told me that those decisions and those thoughts are very easily removed. So that's great. Now I'm not imprisoned by this problem. Now I have found a way to escape it for real. Not just jump into other problems, but actually this problem is no more. I've escaped it. Okay? Beautiful. Awesome. What else?
I went to my high school reunion, 45th, that's been about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there were students, former students there, that still held grievances against their 3rd grade or their 5th grade or the 7th grade teacher. I didn't even remember their names. I didn't remember the names of any of the teachers.
Wow.
And it was like, oh man.
Wow.
You gotta charge her rent,
Yes,
for occupying that
exactly.
space in your head,
Exactly.
for all that time.
Wow. Uh-huh.
The teachers, been dead almost. But, there, it was a time before, there was anything like, ADHD,
ADHD.
any of that stuff.
Yes.
If you didn't get it, you were stupid.
Right, gotcha.
So, you
yes.
got all these people kind of walking around thinking, I'm just really dumb at math,
Yes.
or I was just really, I couldn't put a sentence together.
Yes, yes.
And
Yeah.
it's inhibited their lives.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're suffering from beliefs that were never true in the first place.
Right.
A kid who had learned differently than the school system teaches,
Right.
Develops that belief that they're stupid.
Right.
And then they carry that belief, that decision with them, and then they have a world that reflects to them that they're stupid,
Right.
having no idea that they're suffering from a belief that never was true. And that's us. That's us. Yes, exactly. I'm still healing from my belief that I'm stupid relative to math. It's like, that nobody told me, it's okay that you're not good at math. It's okay that your brain doesn't work that way. It's all right. Everybody's brain works differently. It's all right. You have other skills and talents. You have other strengths. That's all right. Doesn't mean you're stupid. Right. But I didn't have anybody saying that to me. And so then I carried that belief on and then go, why is this happening to me again? Why are numbers happening to me again? Why is the world afflicting me with math? Well, Anna, you can escape from your math problem by what? By recognizing my problem as it is instead of how I interpret it to be. Yes.
I thought you were going to say about a calculator.
Oh, yeah. So, beautiful. All right, how are we doing on time? All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to do this last paragraph and then we're going to stop for this session. So now we're on paragraph 3, and it says the reasoning, the so-called reasoning, by which the world is made, on which the world rests, by which the world is maintained, is simply this: you are the cause of what I do. That's it. Okay? It's the global core belief. All the world is maintained. All the illusionary world is maintained by that simple so-called reasoning. And then it goes on. The thinking of the world, the so-called reasoning that the world is made of, is this: your presence justifies my anger, and you exist and think apart from me. And while you attack me, I must be innocent, and what I suffer from is your attack. Okay? What is that? That is the so-called reasoning, the so-called logic upon which the world is based and maintained and made. What made this world? The belief that you are the cause of what I do. Your presence justifies my anger, and you exist and think apart from me, and while you attack me, I'm totally innocent, and what I'm suffering from is your attack. There you have it, folks. That is the belief system that we call the world, the ego world. The entire ego world is maintained, based on, and maintained in that single belief. You are the cause of my experience, and when you attack me, I am innocent, and what you do and your presence justifies my wrath, not just my anger, but my wrath. In other words, the whole world as we know it is based on I am a victim. The world is making me feel how I feel. And because of that, my anger is justified. We walk around like, my anger is justified. Who is it that has anger that they don't also feel is justified? You do? Yeah, exactly. So, who has anger and be like, well, my anger is not really justified, but anger means you believe that you are a victim of the world. Anger means you don't believe you're responsible for your experience. Anger means you believe someone is making you feel the way you feel, that someone else is attacking you outside of yourself to make you feel the way you feel. That's what anger means. Anger means projection. Anger means projection of the cause of your suffering. And if you knew the truth that you are responsible for your experience, there'd be no anger. But there would be some motivation. There would be some motivation to think a new thought, make a new decision. If you realized you were responsible, you'd be like, okay, I made this, alrighty then, I need some new thoughts. I made this, okay, fine, I need some new beliefs. Where can I find some new beliefs? Some more loving, positive, empowering beliefs. Where can I find some? Oh, A Course in Miracles. That's what A Course in Miracles is. It's a whole belief system that is positive, empowering, and based on love. That you can think and have a different experience. A different experience where you don't feel like a victim all the time. You feel powerful. You feel like a powerful genius creator. That feels good. I'm a powerful genius creator. I can create whatever I want. I can create the beautiful, abundant, free life that I want. I can create the healthy, beautiful body that I want to experience. I can create a world that's friendly, that's safe. That is what I get to do when I recognize I am responsible. All right, so then it says, no one who looks upon this so-called reasoning of the world exactly as it is could fail to see that reasoning does not follow, which means that reasoning makes no sense. To think I'm the victim of the world makes no sense. Yet, that idea that you're the victim of the world, you see, it seems sensible because it does look as if the world is hurting you. And so it seems as if there is no need to go beyond the obvious in terms of cause. it seems obvious that the world is hurting me. It seems obvious to me. And so to me, it seems like there's no need to go beyond the obvious. The world is doing this to me, and I am a victim of the world I see. But the Course in Miracles says that reasoning that the world is hurting you and you're affected by the world, when you really look at that reasoning, you see that it makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. And how do we know it makes no sense at all? Because who's the one suffering? Who is the one suffering right now? Is it's you? That means it's you. That means it's your thoughts. That means it's your decision. That's what logic sees. I'm the one who's suffering, so it must be me that is doing it. It must be me who is thinking unloving thoughts, fearful thoughts. All right. So we're going to stop here, and we're going to do announcements, love offering, and then integration meditation. So, hi, Stephen. Oh, Stephen, thank you, my dear, and Maya. Thank you, Maya. Beautiful, lovely to see you, Stephen, my dear. Awesome. All right. So announcements are: I do 2 live streams each week, Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And on Wednesdays, that is A Course in Miracles, the complete and annotated edition. So I do that book. And that book, in my perception, is the most original version of A Course in Miracles. And there's so much good stuff that was left out of the first 2 editions that I'm teaching that book. So I've been doing it now for almost 2 years, and we just made it into chapter 4. So as you can see, I'm speeding along. 2 years, and I just started chapter 4. Okay, but we're taking our time. And so so you can also, I'm taking all of my Facebook classes and I'm transferring them to YouTube so that you can more easily access all of my classes. So you can go to my YouTube channel, and then there's all my classes. I got my classes, Course in Miracles readings, Course in Miracles meditations. So if you'd like to access easily my classes, instead of going to my Facebook page and just scrolling, then go to my YouTube channel. And when you do, hit subscribe button and hit like and subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers, and I'm getting close to 900. So I need subscribers so I can do YouTube Live. That's my goal. So go to my YouTube channel if you haven't already and hit subscribe, and then soon I can be coming to you live from YouTube. So, which seems more accessible and user-friendly to me. So, all right, any other questions or comments? Anything, any big ahas that you want to walk out of here remembering? Anything that just felt really good to hear?
I like the part where you said, all effects will be undone for me just by saying I am responsible.
Yes, all effects of my wrong decision will be undone for me if I say I am responsible for my experience. Thank you.
That must be what he is meaning by saying, and it is also very easily relieved.
Yes, exactly. Once you see that it's your decision and it's hurting only you, and you see that it's easily removed, then who wouldn't just say, yes, I ask for a new thought. I ask for the correction of this. All right. Yes.
I like the piece that it makes me feel more powerful. It is my decision. I am responsible, rather than having to wait around and say, well, I really hope that they would do this, and I would feel better.
I really wish things were different.
Yeah.
And waiting and wishing.
Yeah.
Yes, that old waiting and wishing approach.
Yes.
Yeah, that only
If this would
leads.
happen, I would be happy.
Yes, if that were different, I'd be happy. I wish they were different. I wish something else would happen, and then I'd be happy. And that leads to depression and despair. Right. Yeah. So I got that too. This is very empowering. This takes the power and puts it right back in our decision, in our hands, in our choice. It puts the power right back in us, so that we walk around the world feeling powerful. Like, I can create the kind of life I want to live. I can create the physical health I want. I can create the financial experience I want. I can create the loving relationship that I want. Why? Because I'm powerful. Now, why am I powerful? Because I realized I'm not a victim. Realizing I'm not a victim means just remembered my power to create. The Course in Miracles says you were created just like your creator. You were created in your creator's image, which means you were created to be a creator. You were created to create. But you can't see yourself as a victim and also be a creator. You can't do it. You can't do them both at the same time. It's either one or the other. Okay? All right. So, now we're going to do the love offering. The basket's already going around? Okay, beautiful. Already done. All right. And then you guys watching, if you would like to make a financial expression of appreciation to my ministry, Miracle Psychotherapeutic, then you go to my website, annakujawa.ocm, and go to the services we offer page, and you'll see a PayPal button. And thank you for that. Okay, so now we're going to do the integration meditation where we take a few minutes, and we're going to use the ideas. So the way we do this is we take a breath, breathe, and just feel the ideas of A Course in Miracles. Just tune in, tune within. How do these ideas feel inside of you, within your mind, within your heart? How do these ideas feel in your body? And just take note of how the truth feels when you let it in and when you side with it. And just breathe that in. Beautiful. And just notice how it feels also to be hearing these ideas in the loving circle that we are in, that we have made as we came together today to listen to these ideas together. Each one of us is part of an interlocking chain of healing and forgiveness that, when completed, heals the whole world. So good job taking your part, taking your place in that interlocking chain of forgiveness that goes around the world, embracing all the world in the healing power of peace and forgiveness. Good job. This is us taking our part as healers of the world. This is how we do it. This is how the world is healed. And all the world thanks you and thanks us. Beautiful. So now I want you to bring to your awareness a problem, something that you have been suffering with, whatever it is. Physical pain, financial stress, relationship issues, global issues, depression, despair, a desire to die. I want you to bring that suffering into your awareness. And I want you to ask yourself, have I suffered with this enough? Do I want and need to suffer with this anymore? And I want you to ask yourself, am I willing to look at this problem, this suffering, as it really is, in all of its primitive simplicity? Are you willing? Have I suffered enough? All right. I want you to tell yourself, I've suffered enough, I'm now willing to look at this problem as it really is, not how I have interpreted it, not how I have set it up. And take a breath. Beautiful. Now I want you to just do a brief inventory of your interpretation of the problem. How have you set it up? What's been your interpretation of how this problem is happening to you? Who did it to you? What did it to you? And in the interpretation where if that were different, I'd be happy. If they would change, I'd be happy. If they weren't doing this to me, I'd be happy. If this wasn't happening to me, I'd be happy. Review your interpretation of the suffering. And take a breath. Now I want you to tell yourself, I can escape from this. This decision to be a victim, this belief that I am a victim is hurting me, and I don't want it anymore. My version of this suffering is keeping this suffering going, and I don't want to suffer anymore. I've suffered enough for no good reason. And now I want you to say to yourself, even if you don't believe it, it's all right if you don't believe it, since it's true. I am responsible for my experience of this suffering. I am responsible for the decisions that brought about this suffering. I am responsible for the beliefs that are maintaining this suffering, this problem. And take a breath. I have chosen the feelings that I'm experiencing relative to this problem. There was a myriad of choices of feelings I could have had around this, but I chose the feeling I am experiencing. And take a breath. And now tell yourself, even if you don't believe it, everything that seems to be happening to me, I somehow asked for with my thoughts and my beliefs. And I have received exactly as I requested. And take a breath. Now tell yourself, and that was just a mistake. I asked for this. I'm responsible for this. And that decision, that choice, that request for suffering was just a mistake. That's all. Not a sin, just a mistake. I asked for this. And that was just a mistake. It's just my call for love. And mistakes are not sins. Mistakes are for correction. And now we're going to allow all the consequences of our mistake, our mistaken decision, to be undone for us. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to say this: love, I was mistaken. And now I want you, love, to decide for love and truth for me. My mistake was I decided by myself what I wanted, and I decided I wanted fear and guilt and attack and victimhood. And that was just a mistake. And I choose to choose again. And now I choose that you choose for me, love. You, love, who know my best interests. You who love me and will only choose love and peace and abundance for me. I ask you to decide for love and truth and peace for me. And breathe. This is how we allow all of the effects of our mistakes and our mistaken choices to be undone for us. This is how we escape the suffering, the problems, the pain. This is real escape, not fake escape. Now I just want you to feel the lightness. Feel the lightness as this becomes your problem-solving approach, as this is how you handled your problem today. Feel the lightness, feel lighter. Feel the hopefulness that arises in you as you practice like this. Feel the sense of power that you feel returning back into your consciousness. Now there's hope for a happier, more abundant, safer future. Because now you're truly doing something different. Feel what it feels like to practice the truth. Feel what it feels like to bring your suffering to these ideas. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then just take another deep breath. And bring your awareness back to the room, back to your body. Remembering that you can return to this oasis within, this holy relationship within at any time, anywhere, for free. Thank you guys for watching on Facebook. I so appreciate you. Thank you guys for bringing your bodies out here. I really appreciate that too. And may the Course be with you.